I tell you what, man. The Labour Party loves scoring own goals, and this video has this topic has just burnt me up for the last day, and it's 3 a.m. Yeah, this video is gonna be hella rambly, and I've got a billion tabs open, and yeah. So let's dig in this. So Rebecca Long Bailey has and Keir Starmer combined have decided to to score a couple of own goals here, and I'm both these people are to blame. I think in this specific case, Rebecca Long Bailey did something very very stupid, and she was sacked from the shadow cabinet for it. And we're going to dig into this. So this is from an article that's not written by her but is cited by her. So if we look into the problems within this article, so it says here this is from an article. This is from an interview with Maxine Peake. Sorry, her name is Maxine Peake, and Maxine Peake has claimed that the tactics used by the police when the police had killed George Floyd. She said, quote, "The tactics used by the police in America kneeling on George Floyd's neck, that was learnt from seminars with Israeli secret services." Now, a spokesman from the Israeli police has denied this, saying there's no tactic or protocol that calls to put pressure on the neck or airway. And so the person who wrote this article, I think they then cited Amnesty International, saying that look, you've got a clear connection here. With whom are many of the U.S. Police departments training with a chronic human rights with whom are many U.S. police departments training question mark with a chronic human rights violator, Israel. So here you have a list of police departments or states or whatever these. It says here Baltimore law enforcement officials, along with hundreds from Florida, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, California, Arizona, Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts, North Carolina, Georgia, Washington State, as well as DC capital, have all travelled to Israel training. Thousands of others have received training from Israeli officials here in the US. So here, this is the kind of thing they're talking about here. So when they talk about the officers in this case, the claim she claimed originally, she's backtracked on this, and that's important to note. But there's some idiot, I can't find his Twitter account where he's saying this is the evidence. Okay, so here we look at Baltimore and all these places, right? Baltimore is here, right? Okay, Baltimore is here. The US is a very big place, so it's very difficult to tell these things. Okay, but Minneapolis is up here. And there was no mention of Minneapolis within the article. Yes, the article is old. Where is it from? 2016. Okay, it's from 2016. And whoever, I can't find your Twitter account. Sorry, bro, you're an idiot. There's no clear evidence that the officer in this case, Derek Chauvin, had any training from Israeli forces or his higher ups. This article does not show it, and obviously. Amnesty International, according to the New Statesman, has denied this. So Amnesty International never reported that neck kneeling is taught by Israelis to the US. So whoever that idiot is, you're wrong, and we can tell that Rebecca, this person who is in this article, Maxine Peake, she's wrong, and she retracted this. But here comes the real problem. This is the real problem here. Okay, are you still following me? Because I'm rambly as hell. So Rebecca Long Bailey tweeted out this article saying Maxine Peake is an absolute diamond, okay? And obviously this is the article where she's put out these tropes. If you believe these are anti-Semitic tropes, I think, I don't know if she's trying to be anti-Semitic, but she has taken a dig at a country for no apparent reason. You can take a dig at the Israelis for a myriad of human rights abuses, tons of land border disputes where they've annexed land, they've built occupations illegally. Yeah, that's fine. But when you make false accusations like this, you weaken the rest, and you make it look, look at these anti-Semites and attacking Israel constantly. You look stupid, and you make everything else look bad. Stop doing it. You can criticize the Saudis for many things, and it's not Islamophobic. But when you make false accusations, you make everyone look bad. And so Rebecca Long Bailey. So here you can see the tweet, and then this is her clarification, right? She goes, "I retweeted the Maxine Peake article because of her significant achievements and because the thrust of her argument is to stay in the Labour Party. It wasn't intended to be an endorsement of all aspects of the article." Say it then. Why didn't you say which bit of the article you don't believe in? You didn't. Why is that? So again, you've doubled down and you've made yourself look doubly stupid. And so here, she gives the clarification. So if we just go through this quickly. So he says, today, obviously this is about yesterday, says, I tweeted an interview that my constituent and stalwart Labour Party supporter Maxine Peake gave to the Independent's. Main thrust was the anger with the Conservative government's handling of the current emergency. These are sentiments shared by everyone in our movement. Number 3, no way was my retweet an intention to endorse every part of the article. I wish to acknowledge these concerns and duly issued a clarification of my tweet with the wording agreed in advance by the Labour Party leader's office. So with the wording, this is after, because obviously she had to clarify with the wording. But after posting, I was subsequently instructed to take both this agreed clarification and my original tweet down, but you didn't. I could not do this in good conscience without issuing a press statement of clarification. I had asked to discuss the matter with Keir Starmer, before agreeing what further action to take, but sadly he had already made his decision. So what she had done is they asked her to take the tweet down. She didn't, because she wanted to put a press clarification out, and then Keir Starmer said sorry, bye. And so I don't blame Keir Starmer for this that much, because the problem within the Labour Party is there is some anti-Semitism in there, and that was under Jeremy Corbyn, and now there's new leadership, and he does not want to associate himself with the previous leadership with regards to the anti-Semitism issues. So why did you either not, this is the guy, yeah, we'll dig into him. Yeah, this is the guy, I found it. And so look, why did you tweet out an article which had, you could perceive it not to be anti-Semitism, you could perceive it to be lies, but why did you tweet that out? This is what angers me about these people. Like, you are a lawyer, you're an MP, you're meant to be intelligent. How did you not see this? How did you not see this coming? Honestly. And so we've got this Joker here. Not this Joker. That's Long Bailey. I guess she could be seen as a Joker. So this guy here saying like, this is what Amnesty International said. Talking about unreasonable force, minor infractions, and things like that. But what Amnesty International didn't specifically say is that that they had trained police officers to use these neck attacks. Specifically, we don't have any evidence that they trained any police officers within Minneapolis or within Minnesota. And this guy, Derek Chauvin, he's been working within Minnesota for, I think, since before 2002, because he had an incident where Klobuchar could have prosecuted him, but she chose not to. So this guy talking absolute drivel, you joker, Ronan Burtonshaw, absolute clown. And so, this is Keir Starmer's statement. I made it my first priority to tackle anti-Semitism and rebuilding trust with the Jewish community is a number one priority for me, says Keir Starmer, as he sacks Rebecca Long Bailey for sharing an article containing an anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. And so here we can see that obviously this is an issue, but this is a separate issue from what happened to George Floyd. Unless you can create a link, I'm not seeing it, and I could be wrong, and maybe I'll have to offer a follow-up video. But we can see here that a video captures police officer in Florida kneeling on a black man's neck during an arrest. We can see Florida was mentioned in this article, but we also know is the fact that neck kneeling wasn't cited by Amnesty International. So this could be a whole separate issue with regard to police. Okay, so carrying on, it says US police departments, this is probably one of the better takes I've seen, US police departments do receive training from Israeli security services. Israel did not invent the concept of kneeling on people's necks. The US police were killing, I don't know what that is, BIPOC, long before the state of Israel even existed. So to blame Israel for this, you're taking away the blame from the US where it should be. And you're also feeding into the pre-existing beliefs of people that believe the Labour Party is anti-Semitic. So you're doing a double stupid thing. And so carrying on, here we have someone who has actually pushed a known anti-Semite called Rachel Reeves. Rachel Reeves is on the front bench. She's the Shadow Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster and Labour MP for Leeds. So what did she do? So she's talking about this person here, Nancy Astor. I think she was the second female elected MP and the first one to actually take a seat. I think the first one was from the Republic of Ireland or from wherever Sinn Féin are from. Like, I'm showing a lot of it's early or late depending on how you define it. So you can see there's a lot of praise in all of these tweets, right? All of them, right? But what do we know about Nancy Astor? Okay, Nancy Astor was a massive anti-Semite. she had anti-Catholic, anti-Semitic, and anti-communist views. So Keir Starmer, Mr. Where's he got? Where's that article gone? Keir Starmer, if your first priority is to deal with anti-Semitism and you've punished Rebecca Long Bailey for citing this article, that means you should have punished Rachel Reeves by now. Why have you not done this? If you've made it a priority to deal with people anti-Semitism, you failed to punish a person who has heaped tons of praise on a massive anti-Semite. It doesn't make sense. And so you're feeding into the narrative of Keir Starmer's not a unique candidate. He's a Blairite in disguise. He's going to purge the left and all this stuff. You are feeding into that narrative. By letting Rachel Reeves stay. Also, Rachel Reeves said Labour does not want to represent people out of work. So in this case, Rachel Reeves said she wants to help the people that are in work, not the people out of work. So Owen Jones put, so when I meet unemployed youngsters, I tell them Labour doesn't want to represent them. So Rachel Reeves, absolute melonhead, right? She's endorsed an anti-Semite. You can say, she was the first sitting MP, female MP, whatever. Yeah, but if you do not add the fact that she was a massive anti-Semite, who cares? And, that feeds into the argument of it's not about just electing people based on their gender or ethnicity. It's about electing the right people. And so you could talk about that in this one, where you can talk about in this thread where you can say, look, she had massive problems. She was a massive anti-Semite, despite being the second woman to be elected into Parliament. And so, maybe we should be looking at the quality of the person rather than just their ethnicity of gender. But Rachel Reeves, in her infinite wisdom, has said that. So she's not very bright, or at least she's dropped the ball on this one. And so here's Maxine Peake saying, I feel it's important for me to clarify that when I talked to The Independent, I was inaccurate in my assumption of American police training and its sources. I find racism and anti-Semitism abhorrent, and I in no way wished nor intended to add any fodder to any views of the contrary. So she's retracted her statement, but that part of the interview with The Independent. And so, there's more Rachel Reeves stuff. So there's a petition by John McDonnell to reinstate Rebecca Long Bailey, and this, this further goes into how stupid everything is getting now, and so it's just, I don't know how long this video has gone on for. There's a few more things I want to talk about. So this is stupid, okay. Keir Starmer has declined a meeting from left-wing Labour MPs who have requested a meeting with Keir Starmer about sacking Rebecca Long Bailey. Their request has been denied. If you're going to make a big decision like this, you should at least talk to the people who may feel like a purge is coming, a anti-left-wing purge is coming, okay? Because Starmer, you're already painted as the more Blairite guy, the more centrist guy. So by you doing this, you are feeding into that narrative. And maybe that's the running theme of this video, feeding into the narrative. And so we go to one of the final things before I wrap up here. Here, if Keir Starmer actually does want to deal with racism, then he's got a secondary huge problem to deal with. So here we have, I don't know if these staffers are still here, but it says here, in February 2017, senior staff discussed that Diane Abbott, Hackney North and Stoke Newington MP and former Shadow Home Secretary, was crying in a toilet, having just received more abuse in the form of rape and death threats. Online, I believe this was. One of the senior staffers revealed Abbott was in a Leon restaurant on Victoria Street, to which another replied, shall we tell Michael Crick being a Channel 4 reporter at the time of the response already have with a winking emoji. So I don't know what this kind of dig is, but it clearly is. They're making jokes about someone who is having a breakdown because they've been hit with death threats and rape threats, probably online. And so here these people are mocking it. And so there's another one that says, the report states that another senior staff member engaged in what could be considered as a classic racist trope by referring to Abbott as a very angry woman. That's how black women are traditionally characterized as. And the reason that he was listening to Question Time without the sound on, so he's saying that he doesn't... What? These people. It's just, he's saying he doesn't listen to Question Time with the sound on because of Diane Abbott. While another said that she literally makes me feel sick. I remember there was a person who said about Bernie Sanders, he literally makes my skin crawl, and they couldn't answer why. And so you could tell these are abhorrent statements made by staffers in the Labour Party during the 2017 election campaign. And if these people are still there, Keir, you have to get rid of them. You have to get rid of them because they're undermining. They're, first of all, they seem very racist. They seem very racist, and they're attacking a sitting Labour MP, and they're mocking her for having a breakdown over something that I think anyone would have a breakdown over this sort of stuff. So what is going on here, and the lack of like political savvy within all of these people, all three of these people mentioned here, McDonnell, Starmer, and Long Bailey, it's just crazy. It's just crazy. First of all, she could have just deleted the tweets and said, "All right, fine, I made a mistake." She didn't. She stuck by them. They're still on her timeline. Why? Why are they still on your timeline? I don't understand. Starmer by sacking her and keeping on Rachel Reeves, another massive blunder. Why is he doing that? And obviously John McDonnell putting out this petition. Like, do you guys not have decent political advisors? Like, I got into a massive argument with my aunt's husband. I don't know what in-law or whatever you call him in English. And he goes, these guys, he's talking about the leadership election. I think he's talking about Lisa Nandy, Keir Starmer, and Long Bailey. He goes, they're all amateurs. And I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, they're all amateurs. And, none of these guys know what they're doing. And I'm just like, well, he's Keir Starmer's a public prosecutor. Long Bailey was a lawyer. I don't know about Lisa Nandy's past, but she's probably something decent as well. And he goes, no, trust me, they're all amateurs. They don't know what they're doing. And maybe he was right, because you guys do look like a bunch of amateurs. All you had to do is delete those tweets and come up with a clarification. Just say, look, maybe you can say I didn't read the full article, or the vast majority of the interview is fine. However, this particular statement I take issue with and I disagree with. But you didn't do that. You doubled down, and then in your thread you kind of tripled down, and then Starmer sacked her, but Rachel Reeves is still there. Like, why? Do you guys have no political savvy? Because Long Bailey put Starmer in a really awkward position, because Starmer should call for Robert Jenrick to resign over all this housing stuff and the corruption, which is a video I was going to do. Instead, I have to cover this, because you idiots can't stop scoring own goals and shooting yourself in the foot. He's like, what's that? My toes, bam, with a 6-shooter. That's what you're doing. Absolute maniacs. And so it's just the lack of political savvy. Like, if you need a political advisor, hire me, because clearly I could probably do a better job than whoever you have now, because you guys have no idea what you're doing. There's a goddamn pandemic going on, and Long Bailey decides to score a giant own goal for no apparent reason. Keir Starmer has someone who's pushed an anti-Semite into prominence, or not prominence, but has talked about a person with anti-Semitic views very glowingly. It don't make sense, and I'm just losing my mind here. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, this has burnt me for like the whole day. I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to say about this. Like, how am I supposed to make sense of this? And then how am I supposed to explain to my audience, subscribers and stuff? What am I supposed to say to you guys? Because I can't make sense of this stuff. It don't make sense, I tell you. And whoever your political advisors are, they are dumb as hell. And look, you guys need to fix up, yeah. And if you're not good enough for leadership, find a sturdy service, yeah. Tap 3 times, tap out. Say I'm done. Not everyone can be the solid snake of the world. Yamayugi's protagonist. Not all of us are cut out for this. If you're not cut out for leadership, yeah, resign. There's no shame in it. Forfeit the game before someone takes you out of the frame. Forfeit. Take a leaf out of Lincoln Park. Forfeit. If you're Starmer, if you're not going to do a competent job in dealing with racism properly, and you're going to use it to take out potential opponents of yours, a leadership rival, then you're no better than any of these people here that were mentioned. You're far worse than any of them. You're trying to be, some Machiavellian guy who's very slick and very crafty. Don't be like that. We don't want one of them. We don't want no other Tony Blair. We don't want anyone like that, not Boris Johnson. We want someone who's sound, who's going to deal with the issues as they come. And you've done an alright job in PMQs, but when it comes to dealing with the party properly, if you do not find and fire these staffers who made these comments about Diane Abbott and a lot of the other problems that these guys caused in 2017, if you do not sack Rachel Reeves from the front bench, and I have to stress these tweets are from the 24th of February, so you had enough time to do this, then you're feeding. That's the theme of this. You are feeding into the narratives that have been set before. Starmer, you're feeding into the narrative of, Starmer, you are going to purge the left. Wrong Bailey, you are feeding into the narrative of Labour being an anti-Semitic party. So either you two fix up, or just resign. Just resign. I don't know how much money you guys have got saved, but leave being an MP, get someone who's competent in, and get them to deal with it, because you guys clearly have no idea what you're doing. Honestly, I don't know who your advisors are. Get rid of them. Get some new people in. Because I'm embarrassed for you, and if you can't do it, tap out. There's no shame in it now. Just tap out, resign. Say you can't do this. You're not cut out for this. You're not the guy, or you're not the woman, or whatever you want to define yourself as. And look, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.